1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Ready. 1, 2, 1, 2. They say pride comes before a fall, and this evening we get to see if the pride can catch the Marlins hook, line, and sinker. And that's our first matchup this evening in a doubleheader. The Kwazulu Marlins taking on the Limpopo Pride, and we are coming live from Wembley Arena in downtown Johannesburg. This is the Basketball National League in 2015. Of course, you wouldn't want to be anywhere else on your Friday evening but Wembley Arena to take in live basketball national action. It is a balmy Friday evening in Johannesburg, and I've got my man at QD4 with me, and we are going to break down the KwaZulu Marlins. QD.
Interesting starting lineup employed by Coach Craig Gilchrist. Shange, Holcomb, Molobi, Nsele, and Nzama get the start. Lamini, Constable on the bench. Ryan McPhee coming off the bench as well. And storied Coach Craig Gilchrist, basketball legend in the South African circles. He is in charge of his young and energetic KwaZulu Marlins team, and they have been celebrated, they have been marred, they have been looked at in adverse circumstances, but the KwaZulu Marlins continue to improve weekly. The youth on their team has been celebrated quite a lot as well, and Tele providing them quite a bit of shooting off the bench. We have a look at the Limpopo Pride starting five. Mabasa, Koza, Pokwane, Poseja, Kabasele. Christian Kabasele gets his second start for the Limpopo Pride. Manubele, Nkwashu, Katlejo Sitole coming off the bench. Patrick Kahozi, quite an interesting lineup being employed by Coach Mpatlele, obviously opting for speed, and the only height he has on the starting five, Tepo Pokwane, and Pokwane not quite, listed at about 6'3". He's also made his debut for the South African national team earlier this year in the Four Nations tournament, and this Pride team sure could do with a win against the KwaZulu Marlins.
Well, the Pride ready to go with Coach Sinki Mpatlele. Coach Sinki Mpatlele getting a swig of water, but of course leading the Pride from 2014, where they were ninth and picked up a 4-7 record. But our match referees this afternoon, Thabo Mkasibe in the middle of your screen, Tito Ramkocho to the left, and Siwila to the right of your screen, our match officials, and they are ready to rock and roll just as much as we are. And the Pride will be ready to take this game to the KwaZulu Marlins. The Pride, of course, look like a different team that they have on the floor, and it's just a little bit different right now. Starting fives that we had quite different and look different as to compared to what we see on the floor right now.
Well, on the floor now for the Marlins, Constable gets the start. Tele, Dlamini, McPhee, and Ngubane. That is Craig Gilchrist's much preferred lineup. On the floor for Polokwane is Jerry Manubele, Christian Kabasele, Tsepo Pokwane, Peter Poseja, And they're just about ready to get this started. Mboweni also gets a surprise start for the Pride.
Slight pause to the action right now. Well, just before we start this game, a little bit of an impediment on the floor, but that's off, and Manubele wins the jump ball for the Pride. And we are live from Wembley Arena in downtown Johannesburg. Tepo Pogwani puts up the three. Has had a slow start to this season, Q, and seemed to be stuck in a rut. Even after an average performance in the Four Nations. Dlamini, the step back. Ngubane is right there, picks up on the offensive board. The ball goes out of bounds and a foul called.
I think there's just a lack of leadership on the floor for the Pride. They look to Jerry Manubele to be a scoring leader, Peter Bosecha, a defensive leader, and Pokwane has been that spark player for them. When he's on the floor, he provides scoring, he provides energy, and is a hustle player, but certainly has not performed as well as he did towards the end of the 2014 BNL season. A player that has performed well, though, is this ever-improving youngster, Landilandi Ngubane, and Coach Craig Gilchrist very confident in giving the young man the start when he knocks down his first two to give the Marlins a 2-point lead.
Well, Q, Landilandi Ngubane is slowly, surely coming into his own after a 2014 season on the bench mostly for the Marlins. Constable crashes to the floor as he was trying to sky for the rebound. Ngubane wants it in the low block, but the screen, and he's rolling to the basket. Dlamini can't get the three to go, and the ball goes out of bounds. And a very slow start, Q. We've just gone a minute into this game.
Dlamini seems aggressive on the offensive end for the Kwazulu Marlins. Taken already two unsuccessful jumpers.
The floater for Tlele can't go. Manubele picks up on a loose ball, and Ryan McPhee checking into the starting lineup for the Marlins literally minutes before the game started, and nearly coming away with the steal on that play. And Peter Bosecha starting at the 2. Pogwani outside for 3. Back iron. Dlamini now leading the break, 3-on-3. McPhee looking to work in the low post. 14 seconds on the shot clock. They still have an immense amount of time. Back to McPhee. This time banks in the turnaround jump hook.
And that's really good play by the Marlins. Dlamini should feed McPhee that front court. Definite size advantage for the Marlins.
Pogwani opting to drive this time. Can't get the running jumper to go. Marlins on the break, 1-on-1. Lele skies high, kisses it off the glass.
Dynamic young scorer is Tlele. And him and Ngubane on the starting 5 for the Marlins, and they've definitely earned their minutes throughout the season. I think they are two young stars that the league needs to keep an eye on.
Well, definitely, Q. I definitely have to agree with you. Both Tlele and Ngubane earning their minutes. Tlele, a 3-year player, of course, and in 2013 languished on the bench most of the time. Simini throws it away, and once again the Marlins on the break, but it's a 3-on-3. Ngubane all the way in one-hand slam. Talk about execution.
Young man getting up the floor in a hurry. Ngubane recently broke his virginity, for lack of a better word, by dunking in the game, and now he's flying to the hoop with regularity.
Well, the Pride pick up 2 points on a reverse layup by Tepo Pogwani. Fee throws it away, looking to run the high-low with Ngubani. They throw it away, and the coach thinking Patlele wants a timeout. He's seen enough. The Marlins on the break. Dlamini had Constable to his right, but getting it to the man closest to him, Ngubani, and finishing with a dunk on the break.
Lovely elevation, Ngubani, and that will bring a break in play. The Pride will have a chat to Coach Mpatlele.
Coach Gilchrist, of course, Q, a storied individual. Had a little bit of a chat with him earlier this afternoon, and graduated from Beechwood Boys High in 1990, and that's when the school had merged with Northlands Boys High, and Beechwood High, and the merger of the two schools, Beechwood and Northlands, was resulted in what you have now is Northwood Boys High School in Durban North, and a very storied basketball powerhouse in the 90s. They still have a basketball program going on, and tweet us at BNLSA, and of course always use the hashtag Kings of the Court 2015.
I definitely did not know about that merger, and thank you for that bit of history, good sir.
Ngubani once again active, and this time on the break picks up the foul, draws the foul, and he will go to the line to shoot two. Of course, Q, looking at this Marlins team, both teams came out with starting lineups that looked like they wanted to run at each other, but the Marlins, of course, executing a lot better on the floor and really running this game.
I think if you look at it, the Marlins play better structured basketball, have better systems in place, and Coach Gilchrist goes through much pain to make sure that the offensive systems run well. And the Pride probably more erratic on the offensive end, and they rely on transition and their athletic ability. Manubele skies for 2 points.
Well, the pull-up jumper, good for Manubele. And it's only a 4-point Marlins lead. We almost have 4 minutes played in this quarter. Constable can't keep it alive. Of the Tsele missed on the three. Kabasele throws it away. Tanta Samini doing just enough to get that ball to get out of Kabasele's hand. Bandi Lenzele checked into the game for the Marlins. Samini, the crossover all the way to the basket. Can't get the layup to go, but draws the foul. Samini to the line.
Uses his guile, uses switch of pace, and Dlamini able to get into the key. Often described as one of the smartest basketball players on the floor. Basketball IQ very high. Knows how to use that little body of him very well. And checking in, Shange for the Kwazulu Marlins.
Dlamini, of course, Q, graduate at high school of DHS, Durban Boys High. And also played in the junior KZN teams as well as the junior national teams. Pukwani picks up the charge. Well, not the charge. It looked like a charge from up here, but Ntsele picks up that blocking foul.
And that DHS program has produced quite a few good players. Kabasele can't knock it down. Durban Boys High School, very renowned for being constantly at either number 1 or number 2 in the nation, and they have a solid basketball program down there in KZN.
Shange, pull up just inside, can't get it to go, still needs to warm up as he shoots an air ball, but showing some intent in the way that he's moving on the floor, Q, looking for the ball, calling for the ball, and being decisive on the floor. Of course, his first shot. Dlamini outside for 3. And the rebound to Kabasele. PB, pull up top of the key. Got it over Constable.
Nice knockdown jumper by Peter Bosecha. Get him some confidence.
Marlins turn over the ball on the travel called. Pride now within 3. Very, very slow start to this game for both these teams in terms of pace, even though the Marlins have the lead. Manubele. Bosecha will try the pull-up. Nzele with the header. Marlins leading down on the break. Constable underneath the basket, and he wasn't ready for that pass.
I think just both teams, we probably expected a higher tempo game. The Pride have young athletic guards and they push the ball up the floor, and the Marlins certainly can score in transition, and it's surprisingly slow start by both these teams.
Changes on the floor for the Marlins. Ngubani and Dlamini take a seat. McPhee and Duma back in the game. Manubele loses the handle on the ball, frustrated with himself somewhat, and turns it over. Marlins basketball. Turnovers 5 apiece right now for both these teams, and that pretty much lets you in on the picture, Q, that it is quite a slow start. McPhee and a foul called.
Well, chatting with Coach Gilchrist, some of the criticism he's leveled at his team is that they run their offense well, they get good looks at the rim, but they're just not able to knock down open jumpers. And I think we can say that for most of the league right now, is that the ball movement is great, people are getting good open looks, but you've got to knock down jumpers. And I think field goal percentage is an issue right now for the Marlins, an issue for Eagles, an issue for a lot of the teams on the floor. And the saving grace for the Tanya Suns and why they are at the top is that they're able to turn some of that defensive pressure into offense.
Marlins 2 fouls and the Pride with 4 fouls. We have just under 3 minutes to play in this game. Constable 2-on-1. McPhee to Shange. Shange back to McPhee between the legs and the layup.
Just not as fluid as you'd like it, but you take a basket any way you get it. And McPhee adds another 2 to his name. He's got 4 points.
Sotole, unfamiliar territory for him, and the result not a surprise, missing that 3. Duma, Nzele just inside the key, will hit it every time.
Nzele really loves that jumper from the top of the key, and knocks it down with unerring accuracy.
Kabasele working it. Running jumper hits the back iron. Duma with the rebound. Now he's going to lead the break. He's got Nzele to his right. Nzele to the basket. Can't get it to go. And now the Pride come back running in transition. Back the other way. Blocked by McPhee. Marlins turning it over. McPhee. It's a 5-on-2. Constable. And McPhee with a tip in.
Just no intensity right now on the Pride on the defensive end. That's just too easy. Those second chance opportunities almost not being worked for right now by the Marlins. 9-point difference. Start this first quarter. Pride are going to have to play with a little bit more pride.
PB, pull-up jumper, shoots an air ball, and I'll tell you what's compounding this situation right now, Q4. The Limpopo Pride, as Siyabonga Mahlinza checks into the game for Ben Constable, the Kwazulu Marlins. The fact that Coach Mpasele has the players on the bench to run at the Marlins, because the Marlins, their pace is quite slow right now. Simon Khoza is on the bench. Tendani Mabasa is on the bench. He should be running.
There's just no intensity. Look how much time Shange has, and he's wide open. Front iron for Shange, but no intensity, no communication. A jump shooter should not have that much time off a screen. Coach Mbatlele certainly has a lot of work to do. We have a look at the attempts, and 25 attempts for the Marlins already, and only 12 on the offensive end for the Pride. it shows that the offense not running. They've only hit 3 of 12, not getting quality looks. And Mtsele picks up his second foul. Manubele will get himself to the free throw line. 2 points for Jerry Manubele. He gets 2 to 4.
Three can't go for Shange. Ball knocked out of bounds, and Ramkocho calls it Marlins ball still. Gilchrist, Coach Gilchrist making a substitution, getting Ngubane to get onto the floor. And just a little over 60 seconds to play. McPhee turn one jumper. Well, it's been all Ryan McPhee in the first quarter. Very prominent right now for the Marlins.
8 points for Ryan McPhee. Pokwane gets 2 and will get himself to go to the line. Mtsele picks up his third. Kabasele should make his way to the bench, and does.
Pokwane completes a 3-point play. Makes it a 7-point game as we are under a minute in this first quarter. Shange outside, spins up with the offensive rebound, turn around, jump hook. He'll try it once again, can't get it to go, and the Marlins just trying to put pressure on the offensive board. And Tendani Babasa a little too late in this quarter. PB for 3. Draws a back iron. Ngubane with the rebound. Marlins look to run. McPhee. Ngubane on the inside. Rolling to the basket, but the ball goes out of bounds, and it will remain with the Kwazulu Marlins.
Pride need to get a couple of good defensive possessions here. Try and take some momentum into the second quarter. Wide open.
Ngubane can't get the baseline jumper to go. Mabasa with the rebound. Pride will hold for the final shot. Sitole outside for 3. He shouldn't be hitting those type of shots. And Shange will have to launch it at the end of the quarter. Can't get it to go. And that shot attempt by Ayanda Shange will close out the first quarter. And Shange having a discussion back and forth between Shange and Mahlinza. Constable gets into that conversation as well, but they'll have a whole lot to talk about as this quarter comes to a close. Marlins 17, Pride 10. That's the tail of the tape in the first quarter. And at QD4 with a breakdown of the actual factuals of the first quarter.
A struggle from the free throw line for the Kwazulu Marlins. They're shooting 3 of 8, 7 of 17 on the interior. The Pride 0 of 6 from the perimeter, giving up 15 rebounds, 4 of those on the offensive end for the Kwazulu Marlins. And the Pride 0 of 6 from the perimeter and 0 of 7 for the Kwazulu Marlins. Both teams struggling from the three-point line and not doing too great from the free throw line. Either are the Kwazulu Marlins, shooting it at 38%. And early game leaders, McPhee has 8 points in that first quarter. Pokwane 5 points, 3 boards. Dlamini has 2 assists, and Ryan McPhee's name features in the steals and blocks column as well.
Well, Ryan McPhee filling the stat sheet for the Kwazulu Marlins, but of course, hey, follow us on Twitter at BNLSA and always use the hashtag Kings of the Court 2015. Use that hashtag. We're able to track your comments, your opinions, your suggestions, whatever it is that you have to say, we can track it with that hashtag Kings of the Court. And of course, hey, we have seen those tweets, so use that hashtag because we're able to converse and we can engage with you.
It is the age of social media. Feel free to tweet us at BNLSA. Tell us about your favorite teams. Tell us about your favorite coaches. Are the Pride playing with pride? Are the Marlins struggling on the floor? Who's your favorite player? Ayanda Shange features on some of those favorite player lists.
Are you following any of these players on Twitter?
I sure do. I follow a variety of players.
Well, let's talk about the Marlins and the Pride. Specifically, I know I follow the Pride on Twitter as well as the Marlins on Twitter.
Interesting Twitter accounts.
Well, I'm just trying to pick your brain and see whether, you know, you are in fact engaging with these players. And Ngubani can't get the layup to go, but a whistle from Ramokocho, and Katleho Sitole picks up that foul. And it sends Landelani Ngubani to the line once again. Ngubani has featured quite extensively, prominently for the Marlins on offense. And Ngubani 2 of 4 from the free throw line. And he's pretty much making his 3rd trip to the free throw line. And of course, free throws, even if it means we have to belabor the point, free throws are so crucial at any point of the game.
It's the one place there's no defense being played on you. All you got to do is concentrate and knock it down. 1 of 2 for Ngubani. The Marlins free throw stats not looking so great at this point. They are now 4 of 10, shooting at a 40% from the free throw line.
Mabasa can't get the baseline layup to go, but he gets another opportunity. Baseline jumper, and Nubel is there tipping it in. It's a 6-point Marlins lead.
Nubel is so athletic around the rim, and out jumping everybody to get that tip in.
Mahlinza in the corner can't get the 3 to go. Manubele with the rebound. Pride now running, but outnumbered on the offensive end by Manubele to the basket. And a foul called.
A little bit of energy and intent shown by Manubele. He hustles his way down the floor. Really was not supposed to get by that defender, but did. And Manubele, stern, determined look on his face, try and get the Pride back into this game.
Well, he was determined on that play, Q. I mean, coming down the floor, it was a 2-on-4, 2-on-5 situation, and Manubele just looked to take it all the way to the basket, exploiting the spaces that he found, and didn't make the basket, of course, but able to draw a foul.
Well, after that flat first quarter, you'd be happy to see effort like that from your player on the floor.
Empty trip at the free throw line for Manubele. McPhee, the steal by Pukwani, and they have a 2-on-1 break. Samini chasing, and he steals it back. Samini knocking the ball out of bounds, and possession will remain with the Pride, but Samini clearly not giving up on the play and not wanting to concede an easy basket.
And also didn't give up the foul. Very smart play by Samini. Just unfortunately couldn't hustle down that ball as it made its way out, but Mabasa gets the finish, and it's been a good start for the Pride.
Well, the running jumper for Tendani Mabasa. McPhee to Ngubani. Oh, easy pickings. And right now, Ryan McPhee and Landelani Ngubani making things happen for the Kwazulu Marlins.
15 of their points coming through McPhee and Ngubani. And PB gets the and-one finish.
Tendani Mabasa making things happen himself for the Limpopo Pride. Successive attempts at the basket and making things happen. And a timeout on the floor. And this timeout very much needed right now by the Kwazulu Marlins. Getting back to Tendani Mabasa, the preceding play going all the way and driving inside, weaving through traffic and hitting the running jumper, and this time coming through the key and finding his open teammate Peter Bosecha, and very enterprising finish by Bosecha with the reverse layup. And good things right now happening for the Pride. They are within 4.
The Pride needed to come out with a little bit more intent, a little bit more intensity, and they sure have. Manubele, Mabasa, even PB providing impetus, and that's what you need. You need a team to buy into the energy, team defense, team concept. And the Marlins front court, though, are proving difficult. 15 points in total, 8 for Ryan McPhee. Ngubani has 7 points, and if they can keep getting touches to either McPhee or Ngubani, I think it's going to be a tough afternoon for Sitole.
Well, follow us at Twitter, and you can follow us at BNLSA and use the hashtag Kings of the Court 2015. And we can pretty much just talk about the picture right now. Majagatata. And yeah, tweet us. Tell us whether that's a favorite snack of yours. That was a favorite snack of mine growing up. And very hard to come by. Majagatata in KZN. And a PB, 4 points already in this game, and 2 of 4.
Majagatata.
That was a favorite snack of ours growing up, Q. Way back. PB unable to complete the 3-point play. Constable. Ngubani working the high-low. McPhee trying to jump hook.
And stick with their system, and they keep getting touches to McPhee and Ngubani, and right now they don't have an answer in the post due to the Pride.
Mabasa to the basket. Dlamini picks up the foul. Well, Dlamini had the help on the rotation after being beaten by Mabasa, but that sends Mabasa to the line for a pair of free throws, and he has an opportunity once again to cut this lead to 4, cut the Marlins lead to 4. And of course, free throw shooting so crucial at all times of the game. Fee with the rebound, and Mabasa empty trip at the free throw line. Tele pull up. Oh. Shoots an air ball. Constable looking to keep it alive. Pokwani was out of bounds already. Strange call by the official, but Pokwani was out of bounds when that ball hit him. And Constable very enterprising, keeping it alive for the Marlins.
A brave move by Coach Gilchrist. Bele's got 3 fouls. You have to play smart on the defensive end. Constable on the follow. And Ben Constable hasn't has his name on the score sheet as yet. Will get a chance to go to the free throw line. Benjamin Constable has been a revelation for the Kwazulu Marlins. Mabasa picks up his first foul. He's had 2 MVP performances. Benjamin Constable is energetic, gives them rebounding. He's a New Zealand rookie.
Constable makes good on the first free throw. 2 of 2 for Ben Constable. Free throw showing you right now the attempts. Marlins 6 of 12 and the Pride 2 of 8. Pride struggling at the free throw line. McPhee comes away with the loose ball. Shange pushing down the floor, goes behind the back. Holcomb in the game. Constable drives on the baseline. McPhee on the elbow. Constable once again. This time he'll try the triple. Got it!
After giving up that pass to McPhee, getting him an open look, Constable decides to add his name to the score sheet.
Hey, he's got that steely look on his face, and he is ready to battle. Mabasa outside for 3. The air ball by Tendani Mabasa, and it'll be Marlins basketball.
The Pride started off with a run. The Marlins now counter with the scoring run of their own. 11-point lead now for the Kwazulu Marlins. Shange at the 1.
Constable checked closely by Pokwani. Ball goes out of bounds. The last touch on Pokwani. And Constable and Pokwani going at each other. They've been going at each other ever since the previous play down the floor. And I'll tell you, it's got to do with the fact that Constable got banged up from behind. He can't get the jump hook to go off the glass. Simon Koza, he's checked into the game. Another point guard who can run the floor. Sitole inside, can't get the running jumper to go. Manubele cleans up, count the basket and 1.
Jerry Manubele working hard and being rewarded for his effort. 7 points. Of course, infamous for his exploits in and around the rim. His Twitter handle at Jerry Dunks, and it is that way for a reason. Can Sky gets 3-point play.
Mayubele completes the 3-point play. McPhee inside to Holcomb. The turnaround jump hook. Holcomb on the board for the Marlins.
Coach Gilchrist going big, playing Constable at the 3. Two shooters, Bele and Shange on the floor for the Marlins.
Koza. Koza with a drive inside. Pull up. Can't get it to go. Bele with the save. Bele outside has all the time and space and got the 3. Well, you were right, Q. With that much daylight, you've got to make sure that you hit that 3.
You really have to make sure. Bele had no choice but to knock it down. Poor defensive rotation and a poor defensive possession for the Pride. That time down 2 of 9 now. The Marlins from the 3-point line.
Well,
Pride still struggling.
Mabasa challenging. Shange, the baseline jumper doesn't go. Bulala down the floor, loses the handle and foul called. Mabasa motions to his coach that a timeout is much needed right now. And substitutions on the floor. Tepo Pukwani picked up that foul. And substitutions on the floor for the Marlins. Lizwituma checks into the game. Ayanda Shaka checks out. And Ernest Massimini in the game as well. Constable drives, kicks it to McPhee. McPhee wasn't ready for the pass. And turns it over, and it'll be Pride basketball. McPhee will get a rest. And get some depths and pounds for his play on the floor. Landelani Ngubani back on the floor, but we have a timeout on the floor. And it will be Coach Sinkim Mpatlele heeding his players' call to get into a timeout as they need to thresh out a few things on the floor right now. And of course, Q, the Pride still in a state of disarray on the defensive end.
I think they don't have an answer for the front court of the Kwazulu Marlins. Even the introduction of Holcomb has steadied the ship for the Marlins right now. I think Coach Batlele could give a couple of different looks on the defensive end, change up the amount of pressure or intensity, but doesn't have players that match up height-wise with the front court of the Kwazulu Marlins, and I think switching to a man would be ill-advised. So Coach Mbathele got to put his thinking cap on and switch the zone up, try and give different looks to the Kwazulu Marlins, stop the ball going inside.
Well, listen to this, Q. A couple that wooed together tangs forever.
Nah, you didn't, dog.
Well, you know, I'm always going to say this. You've got to appreciate the fans who come out to Wembley Arena. Tepo Pukwani getting ready to resume this game. We are in the second quarter, just under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. The Marlins 32-19, but for the Pride, still keeping the Marlins within view. Koza getting a bit of a push from Duma. Ball goes out of bounds and he turns it over, looking to kick it to Mabasa. And Koza picking up Duma full court, putting him under some defensive pressure. Holcomb can't get the layup to go. Constable will pick up that foul.
And acknowledging the fact that he should not have missed that layup. But given the extra pass, had no defense on him, really should have done a lot better.
Well, the Pride, of course, Q, that's indicative of the fact that they're still finding it difficult to settle into their defense and also rotate on defense as well. Holcomb was wide open all alone underneath the basket. I wonder if that foul by Constable wasn't an intentional one, on Tsepo Pokwani as they've been jawing at each other thus far in this game. Coach Sekin Patele sitting down for a change, and I wonder if maybe he's resigned himself to a loss already. Pele should have been called a backcourt violation, but turns it over nonetheless. And that was dubious as well. Pokwani rattles in a 3. Cuts the Marlins lead to 8. Just under 4 minutes to play. Holcomb underneath gets the layup over Manubele. Massimini drives inside, gets the layup with the left hand. Acrobatics. Duma inside, 1-2 steps, misses the left-handed layup. Khoza. Manubele picks up on the loose ball. Look out! Flight school! You've got to love that play. Picking up on the loose ball and the one-handed flush slams it home. Manubele.
Plays like that change momentum. And Manubele has had intent on the floor all day, and Jerry dunks once again.
Bricks the slam on Constable, can't get it to go. Jerry Manubele. Well, that first dunk by Manubele, Q, getting the crowd on their feet and revived, if you will. Another turnover by the Marlins. Constable with the steal, looking to go. Constable turns it over. The steal by Massimini. Khoza. Kwani's all alone, looking to challenge Constable. Drives on the baseline. Weak defense by Constable, but doing just enough, and Pokwani misses the wide open layup. Abulala Sele throws it away. Coach Gilchrist with the timeout. Mabasa with the crossover and fouled.
Just one more score for the Pride, and it'll be a 4-point game. I think Coach Craig Gilchrist has seen enough. A timeout call by the KwaZulu Marlins. The Pride on a bit of a run, led by Jerry Manubele. He's got 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 in the highlight reel for Jerry Manubele.
Well, Manubele had a dunk like this against the Mountaineers, where he picked up on a loose ball and Jerry just skying in. Oh my, the Tomahawk had so much hang time on that play, and just a beautiful dunk taken off with 2 feet.
That's as athletic as we've seen all season. Jerry dumps. That's his Twitter handle. He sure can sky.
Well, that moniker is not a misnomer at all by Manubele. He is a Jerry dunks. And just like I said earlier, Q, you've always got to appreciate the fans who come out to Wembley Arena. And Coach Gilchrist, none impressed, and that expression says it all. And with the Marlins, of course, Q, turnovers will always be their undoing. Always be their undoing. And the Pride have pretty much turned it up just a smidgen, putting on pressure here and there.
Well, it was a subtle change of defense again by Coach Mpatlele. They rushed the offense of the Marlins a little bit, and now the Pride a chance to make this a 4-point game. Free throw line being the Achilles heel for both Marlins and the Pride. 5 of 12. Marlins 6 of 12 right now, shooting it at 50%. Babasa. Gets both. 4-point game it is.
Shange back in the game, Dlamini back in the game. Sinza Holcomb has a shot swatted a little by Manubele, and the loose ball to Dlamini. Fresh 14 for the Marlins. Shange outside for 3. Can't get it to go as the ball rims out. And you definitely did say this, Q, that the Pride can cut that lead to 4, and they've done exactly that. Darren Holcomb checks out the game. Ryan McPhee back in the game. He's having a little bit of a slow game, missing easy shots. So rather get the man who's been making it happen for the Marlins, Ryan McPhee, back in the game. Pukwani can't get the 3 to go. Dlamini with the rebound. We have 60 seconds to go in the second quarter. 10 on the shot clock. Dlamini, McPhee's all alone, and easy pickings once again, and Khoza appealing for his defense.
Khoza looking on, but falling on deaf ears, and that was as easy a bucket as you can get for Ryan McPhee. Pokwani goes baseline. It's been a tough afternoon for Pokwani thus far. Not been able to find himself on the floor just yet. And Shange. It's been a tough afternoon for Ayanda Shange.
Shange with the offensive rebound. And credit the Marlins. Mahlinza Fees there. Easy pickings once again. And the assist for Dlamini.
14 big first half points for Ryan McPhee. Getting him plenty of quality touches, and he is rewarding his teammates by making sure that he gets it done.
5 seconds on the shot. Pukwani, he'll put up the heave. Can't get it to go. McPhee down the court, and that last second heave by Ryan McPhee, very short, but closes out a very tough quarter for the Kwazulu Marlins as we head to halftime. And the Limpopo Pride have found a way to battle back, fight their way back in the second quarter. But the Marlins once again going to the money man Ryan McPhee as they have an 8-point lead. Coach Sinki Mpahlele will have a whole lot to talk about in halftime and look to go back to the drawing board with his Limpopo Pride. And scores at halftime: KwaZulu Marlins 38, Limpopo Pride 30. Well, first half action, Mabulala coming down the floor, Cele, and beating Kabasele, and outstretched Kabasele, kissing that layup off the board, and the Marlins were running off and early, and Bani Landelani with the one-handed flush down the floor and getting the bench involved and active.
Certainly was a game of runs. The Marlins starting out well. Peter Oseja on the top of the key, trying to spark the offense of the Pride. It was a difficult first quarter. Pride only getting 10 points in that first quarter. And Marlins doing much better. Peter Oseja working hard to try and keep the Pride. We'd get free throw attempt.
Ben Constable with the steal and hitting a three after missing a short baseline jumper. And answering things, and that look on his face pretty much telling you that he was ready. Mabulala outside and swishes in the three. And the Marlins, of course, would get into a bit of a rut, turning the ball over and allowing plays like that three by Tepo Pukwani.
Both teams struggling from the three-point line, and Jerry Douglas giving the crowd something to scream about. Just a pure athlete. He helped spark the Pride towards the end of the second quarter. They'd go on a run, get within 4 points, but the Kwazulu Marlins would hold on to an 8-point lead. Good play by Ryan McPhee. He has 14 points to lead all scorers. We have a look at the halftime stats. 6 of 12 from the free throw line for the Kwazulu Marlins. 7 of 14 for the Pride, both teams shooting it at 50%. The three-point line has been an Achilles heel. 9% for the Pride and 20% for the Kwazulu Marlins. Three-point line stats glaring right now. 1 of 11 for the Pride, 2 of 10 for the Kwazulu Marlins, and 13 of 35 on the interior for the Kwazulu Marlins. Still 37%, not the highest shooting percentage, but doing a good job on the interior is Ryan McPhee. He leads all scorers. He has 14 points, 8 rebounds for Benjamin Constable. Manubele has his name in the points, rebounds, and blocks column, and he started to find some authority on the floor, started to spark the offense of the Limpopo Pride, and we'll see how well the Limpopo Pride will do in the second half, and if Jerry Manubele can spark his team to a victory, or will Ryan McPhee continue to lead the Kwazulu Marlins on the floor. We'll be right back to see how that story unfolds after this break.
Welcome back to Wembley Arena and the sights and sounds of the Basketball National League. And the crowd out here just sprinkling of them throughout the arena, but of course they're enjoying what they've been seeing so far. And scores at halftime, of course, the Marlins with an 8-point lead. Marlins 38, Limpopo Pride 30. And we did say this earlier on in the first half that the Pride just don't want to let the Marlins out of their sights. And we wonder if the Pride can catch the Marlins hook, line, and sinker. Because right now, the Marlins are finding it difficult to run away with this game and blow out the Limpopo Pride. Of course, these fans enjoying the action thus far. You've got to love that guy right there. He could probably make a good candidate for South Africa's Got Talent as a contortionist.
South Africa's Got Talent indeed. BNL fans Got Talent. It is always fun in the stadium. And players on the floor getting ready to follow us at BNLSA. Tweet us hashtag Kings of the Court 2015. An exciting second half in prospect. 8-point lead for the Kwazulu Marlins. It's been a game of peaks and troughs for the Kwazulu Marlins. Pride have had it within 4. And every time they get close, the Marlins just able to pull away.
We are off with the third quarter. Kabasele, pull-up jumper inside. And air ball, Zamini with the rebound. Triple team in Zamini's vicinity. McPhee. Shange, he's yet to get going in this game thus far, but looking to run the roll with McPhee, but they turn the ball over.
Shange trying to force a pass to McPhee, and just communication issues between two teammates, and turnover for the Kwazulu Marlins.
Well, successive turnovers on both ends of the floor for the Marlins and the Pride. And this time Mabasa finding it difficult to connect with Pokwani in the low block. Shange, McPhee on the inside, can't get the jump hook. He's got this rotation cue on his jump hook. Massimini, he'll try the three. Can't get it to go. Constable in his face. Shange picks up on the rebound. Shange to Ngubani. Ngubani can't hang on to it. Another turnover by the Marlins.
That was a pretty decent look for Ngubani. Shange finding his man wide open. Mabasa with the little show and go in the key. He'll open the scoring for the Pride. 6-point gap right now for the Marlins.
Ngubani once again finding it difficult to latch on to the pass in the low block. And I think this is where getting into the gym and just being stronger. Getting into the gym, doing weights to be stronger would help Ngubani in terms of establishing position, seeing the man, and being able to receive the entry pass.
Just make him more of a threat in the paint. Ngubani, slowly but steadily, I think one of my most improved players in the league this year.
Double team on McPhee. Constable wide open on the three. Holcomb is there, but a foul called. Pokwani picks up that foul. Holcomb doing a great job on that shot, boxing out on the offensive end and making it difficult for Pokwani to get the defensive rebound. He picks up that foul. And Marlins basketball.
Years of experience on the floor for the Kwazulu Marlins. McPhee and Holcomb both have represented the country. Both have played in international competitions.
Kabasele drives to the baseline. Foul call, the push. McPhee will pick up that foul. And that sends possession the way of the Pride. Kabasele with the inbounds on the baseline. McPhee, Coach Gilchrist looking to preserve him for the rest of the game. Pride still a threat right now.
You think that maybe the Marlins are taking it easy or finding it difficult to get going in this game, especially being out of playoff contention?
I think travel is also a factor. The Marlins and the still look a bit flat. Both teams traveling today, and legs can be an issue, and that's probably why we saw them start as slow as they did.
Definitely agree with you, Q. I was on the flight with them.
It was a 2:30 flight. Pugwani on the outside. Can't get the three to go. And Dlamini with the rebound. Holcomb wants it in the low block. And Zele, top of the key. Can't get it to go this time. And Kabasele with the rebound. Mabasa has his play broken up. He gets the loose ball. Pugwani driving. And foul call. Pugwani drawing that foul. Constable sprawled on the floor. But Holcomb picks up a foul.
Constable tireless on the defensive end. Shange will get a break. Pele checks in.
Mphahlele on his feet now. Kabasele outside for three. Misfires.
Kabasele has struggled on the floor for the Pride. He has no points. 4 rebounds to his name.
Holcomb draws the double team. Can't get the short jumper to go. The ball goes out of bounds, and Marlins will retain possession of the ball. Of course, you're so right. The Pride in a rut, somewhat finding it difficult to get going in this game. They're missing players like Nikita Makinta. They're missing Patrick Kahozi. They are also missing Cecil Nkwashu. Foul underneath. This time, Holcomb will go to the line for a pair of free throws.
That's essentially their whole front court, and that's why they're being dominated so much by Holcomb, McPhee, and Ngubane from the Marlins. 4 points for Darren Holcomb. 3 rebounds, an assist, a steal, and 2 block shots. Instructions from Coach Miles Dalport, assistant coach Miles Dalport.
Of course, Miles Delport at the reins for the Marlins the past 2 seasons. Constable is there with a tip in, but a lane violation sees Holcomb retaking that free throw. And the Limpopo bench really, especially the fact that they're missing 3 key players. Constable once again, the same play replicated. Well, you've got to love Ben Constable's determination on the floor. Just look at him covering and recovering on defense. Mabasa the drive in. Koza on the shot clock. Koza inside. Pride throw it away, and a gasp throughout the arena from the fans. With under 5 seconds on the shot clock, the Pride were looking to score on their play, but that turnover a concern. And look at the turnovers. Marlins 18, Pride 15. Holcomb spins and a foul called.
That's a difficult matchup for the Pride, especially because they don't have any size on their bench. Holcomb will work all afternoon. Great at drawing fouls in the low post is Darren Holcomb, and pretty consistent at knocking down free throws. 1 of 3 right now from the free throw line.
Holcomb, 1 of 2 at the free throw line, makes it a 10-point game. Pride now bring up the ball with Tendani Mabasa. Marlins in a 3-2 zone. Mayubele, top of the key, he'll put off the shot. Back iron, Sithole fighting and battling underneath. Wow, I tell you, it doesn't look pretty right now. Bandile Nzele picking up his 4th foul. Marlins 27 rebounds. They maintain a 10-point lead over the Pride. And Bandile Nzele, rightfully so, checks out of the game, takes a seat, and Nandelani Ngubane checks into the game. Of course, Q, like you rightly pointed out earlier on, Coach Gilchrist really going with a big lineup against this team due to the Pride not having any big players. Nzele can't get to the defender as Kabesele hits the 3. Constable, Ngubane, Dlamini on the 3, 10 on the shot clock. He'll hit the jumper just inside. Constable keeps it alive with the offensive rebound. He'll try a triple of his own. Can't get it with the air ball. Kabasele now leading the break for the Pride. Mabasa on the outside. PB drives on the baseline. Wow, draws the foul. Peter Biseja. And a side ball, Pride basketball.
Been a bit of a flat quarter for the KwaZulu Marlins. The Pride, respectively. Back within 4, and this is as close as they've been all game. The Pride.
Rele for 3, can't get it to go. Constable once again on the defensive rebound. On the offensive board, pardon me. Draws the foul. That'll send Ben Constable to the line for a pair of free throws. Katlego Sithole picks up that foul.
That has been Constable's 5th offensive rebound. He's given them good second chance opportunities. Ben Constable has been a thorn in the side of the Pride in the paint all afternoon. 8 points, 11 rebounds. Constant production on the floor is what he gives the KwaZulu Marlins.
Ball going back and forth. Sithole draws the double team. Banks it in this time. Gotta love his determination. Katlego Sithole. Mabasa picks up that foul. And once again, it's a 4-point game, Q. 4:11 to play in the 3rd quarter. And right on cue, Brian McPhee will check into the game. Whenever the game has come as close as 4 for the Pride, Coach Gilchrist always makes that adjustment, bringing Ryan McPhee into the game, looking to generate some offense, as he's had the hot hand throughout the first 2 quarters. Dlamini at the line now, and he's almost an impeccable shooter at the free throw line.
A very consistent shooter at the free throw line, Dlamini. Been a quiet game for him. 3 points, his total contribution thus far.
2 of 2 for Dlamini. Sithole wants to work on McPhee. McPhee just pokes the ball from behind. And regathered by Sithole. PB, the pull-up jumper. Shoots an air ball and the rebound to Ngubane. Marlins now look to run. Pride slow to transition. Dlamini to the basket. Can't get the layup to go, but draws another foul.
Guile, speed, deception. Mutlatla Dlamini gives the Pride their 13th foul. Kabasele picks up his third personal.
Dlamini 4 of 11 from the floor, 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Mabasa hangs, draws the contact, and tough shot. Bani wants the ball, but just can't get it. Looking for it on the inside. Dlamini between and around play has a shot blocked by Mabasa. And now the Pride run. Look at Jerry. He's going to go all the way to the basket and blocked by Ngubani from behind, and picks up the foul.
Ngubani timed that block impeccably. I think rightfully calling ball. Manubele sizes up his defender, thinks that he has it. And Ngubani comes from behind, uses the left hand, not clean, definitely impeding Manubele, but a good heads-up defensive play from Ngubani. Send Manubele to the line.
Well, that's one thing you'll always get at Wembley Arena. No matter how tough a game is for a team, the fans will always be engaged. And that's the one thing that they do, is to break out in song. Constable working in the low block. Ngubani top of the key. Constable was chasing on that rebound, couldn't get to it. Basa running. Sitole drives inside and the spin move. Ngubani with the rebound. 2.5 minutes to play. Try and get down the floor to Ngubani. Can't get the ball to him. Ngubani last touch, and will be Marlins possession. And substitution on the floor for the Marlins. But you look at Shange looking to break down the floor with Ngubani. And that play broken up by Manubele. Constable for 3. Kabasele with another defensive rebound. Mabasa working on Nzama. Musecha inside. And that's probably the umpteenth time that the Pride are driving into the key. The shot clock winding down, and they look to kick the ball out to an open player, and they turn the ball over.
Seen way too many of those types of turnovers from the Pride, but they're still in the game. It's a 4-point game. Maybe now a chance for the Pride with that miscommunication. Constable looking for Holcomb, and they can make this a one-possession game.
Holcomb lamenting the contact on Holcomb. Kabasele. Another one of those instances, a near turnover. Kabasele remonstrates with the referee that he got fouled on his arm, but the Pride retained possession of the basketball. The assistant coach Delport with some instructions from the sideline. Mabasa working it. Foul called by Mkasibe. Four-point game, of course, and Nzama picks up that foul, and that'll send Tendani Mabasa to the line for a pair of free throws. Marlins with 16 fouls, and the Pride with 14. It's been a very, very slow game for both of these teams. The pace has been slow. The play on the floor has been slow. Even transition play has been slow. Mbasa makes it 1 of 2 and makes it a 3-point game.
And finally break through that 4-point threshold. It is a 1-point game now. Good defensive possession from the Pride. We could have a level playing.
Shange looking for Holcomb. Holcomb wants to work. Nzama. Holcomb on Sitole. Turnaround jumper. Nothing but net.
Finding his touch in the low post there. Holcomb.
Sitole. Poseka on the outside on the wing, looking to work on Mahlinza. Shange. 3 on the shot clock. Sitole. He's taken 3 jumpers today and missed all of them. Thrives a lot better in the low block. Sitole. Nzama, the pull-up on the drive, can't get it to go. Holcomb will pick up the foul. Tussling for the rebound by pushing Khoza out of bounds. And with 34.4 to play, Holcomb picks it up and Marlins in the penalty. So that sends Simon Khoza to the line for 2 free throws.
Khoza has got 5 defensive rebounds. He's a defensive-minded guard. His touch lets him down from the free throw line. It's still teetering between 1 and 2 possession game. Back to 4 points. Marlins.
Mahlinza. 10 on the shot clock. Marlins can't hold for the final shot, and Gubani just picks up the ball, turns around and just flicks it at McPhee, but turns it over, and the Pride will hold for the final shot of this 3rd quarter. An inanimate Gilchrist. Kabasele to Manyubele, and the reverse layup. Keys to end the 3rd quarter by Ayanga Shange. And the Marlins just find it difficult to run away with this game against the Limpopo Pride. The Limpopo Pride battling back and staying in the game with a depleted team, if you will, missing key players and starters. The Limpopo Pride find themselves down 2 at the end of the 3rd. The scores: Marlins 49, Limpopo Pride 47.
Spirited fight back by the Pride in the 3rd quarter. And 42 rebounds for the KwaZulu Marlins, 12 offensive. Pride undersized and struggling on the board. 20 turnovers for the KwaZulu Marlins to 16 of the Pride. The Marlins doing a better job of sharing the ball, but the Pride continue to fight day in and day out. And Ryan McPhee leads the scoring for the Marlins. 11 points, 11 rebounds for Ben Constable. Jerry Manyubele, 13 points for Jerry Dunks. Darren Holcomb has 4 blocks and a steal. Manyubele has 2 blocks for the Pride. And the Marlins 13 of 23 from the free throw line, 10 of 20 for the Pride, shooting it at 40%. On the interior, 19% and 14% for both teams from the 3-point line. And there's always entertainment on the floor. Scenes from what is Wembley Arena.
Well, the contortionist is on the floor now and pretty much doing his thing. SA has got talent, and as you rightfully said earlier, BNL has got talent. This man, this young man, enjoying his 15 minutes of fame. That's the MJ pose. All we needed was a dark Wembley arena, a spotlight on him, a white tank top, a white shirt, black pants, and some sequin shoes.
I think he's got it down right now.
Well, the final quarter that counts the most. And you bet the Pride will look to turn it up a little, as they are within 2 to start this fourth quarter. And Dlamini aggressive, going to the basket, and draws the foul. Simon Khoza picks it up. Marlins to inbound with Ayanda Shange. On the baseline, Ngubani. Shange can't get the pull-up to go. Ibele with the rebound, he's looking to run. "13 seconds on the shot clock. Khoza. Ibele loses the handle. Mahlinza with the steal. Shange has got Ngubani. He wants it in the low block. He wants to work in the low block. Ngubani has pretty much sustained a lot of contact and pushing on the low block. Coach Gilchrist with a prowler's eye. Dlamini fakes the pass, and ball knocked out of his hands from behind. And once again, possession remains with the Marlins. 4 seconds on the shot clock. The Marlins don't have time, but they need to execute, make something happen. McPhee steps out of bounds and turns it over.
Good sustained defensive pressure, and that look describes it all. Coach Gilchrist looks on in disbelief. Pride with a chance to tie off this offensive possession. Whistle on the floor before Kabasela attempt.
Well, some fans, you can't pretty much decipher which team they're supporting. PB making a move to the basket. His shot blocked from behind. Last touch on the Marlins and Ngubani. And the Pride retain possession. Kabasele got the three! Rattles it in! Pride with the lead.
That's the Pride's first lead in this contest, and a 1-point lead for the Pride. Kabasele stepping up from the perimeter, and that's his third three-pointer. The dagger having a much better second half.
Constable checks into the game. The Limpopo bench, they have 8 players in their rotation this evening, Q. And they have stayed in the game. And the Marlins just haven't had it easy. McPhee, once again, with the turnaround jump hook. Now the Marlins with the lead. Manuele, the drive inside. Rani picks up that foul, a blocking foul. It'll be side ball. But Manuele reading the defense and beating Ngubani on the drive. Sitole wants to work on McPhee. Turnaround jumper, can't go, and Constable with the rebound. Dlamini working on the Pride defense. McPhee on the outside. Constable's cut into the basket. Hasty play by McPhee in that instance, and really should have had his teammates involved.
That play sees McPhee go to the bench. Ntele checks in for Ryan McPhee.
Constable. Shange. Marlins need some offense from Ayanda Shange. Can't connect with Ntele. Gets a reprieve by retaining possession of the ball. And that you need to explain this, because
I understand where your line of question is coming. It comes to change of position, and the dagger, Christian Kabasele. One dribble, gets inside. Coach Gilchrist absolutely beside himself right now. And on that position, if we possibly get a replay, see if the ball changed hands, change of position,
it looked like it changed hands.
Clear position for the Pride, and then ball goes back. Shot clock should have reset.
Kabasele an opportunity to complete the three-point play, can't complete it. But once again, the Pride with the lead, and Constable throws it away. I'm telling you, this crowd is behind the Pride right now. Pokwani. Malubele drives. And they throw it away. It's a 2-on-2 break, and Zele all the way to the basket. Marlins with the 1-point lead.
Ball tends to a nail-biting finish to this contest. It's been close throughout. Dagger. Christian Kabasele cannot get it to fall from the perimeter.
Dlamini brings the ball down the floor. Dlamini throws it away. Pokwani getting into the passing lane. Zele calls for the ball, but pretty much stands in that same position, waiting for the ball instead of going to the ball, and that's what gives Pokwani an opportunity for a steal. Zele, turnaround jumper. Not good. Kabasele. Pride still have enough time on the shot clock. And whistle. Dlamini picks up that foul. Marlins get into a conference, and it'll be Pride ball on the side ball. Pokwani on the inbound. The Marlins with a 1-point lead. Pokwani working on Constable. Driving on the baseline. Holcomb, last touch on the ball as it goes out of bounds, and it'll be Pride possession still. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Joel Manamela and head coach Sinkim Pasele now on their feet, sensing the importance of this game and the urgency of the situation. Mabasa with an air ball, shot clock violation by the Pride.
It's not a desired outcome from that offensive possession for the Pride. Lamy again able to extract the foul. Fouls for the Marlins, that 18th foul for the Pride. Pokwani and referee have a discussion, and it seems to be blood on the mouth of Tebo Pokwani, and that means an immediate change on the floor. Pokwani will have to have that seen to. Sitole checks in. Hopefully can have that sorted out quickly. Sitole checks in for the Pride.
Sitole in the game for the Pride has found it very difficult to get going in this game. The Marlins turn it over once again. And Coach Gilchrist, with some words from the sideline, clearly not impressed. Sitole looking to run the pick and roll from Mabasa. The Marlins pick up a foul. Marlins now with a penalty, and that'll send Sitole to the line for a pair of free throws. Darren Holcomb takes a seat, and Ryan McPhee in the game. Coach Mpasele very aware of the situation right now. Just a one-point game. Sitole not good on the first free throw. A first-year player. For the Limpopo Pride. Zele working. Defensive rebound. Turns it over. Ubele is there with the layup.
Jerry Mandibela has been outstanding for the Pride. This is the sort of play I saw him find his way onto the national team. He's played over the team, he's played with Hustle, and he's been able to finish around the rim.
Zele turns it over. Pride running. Mabasa all the way and a layup. Pride building on the lead. They take a 3-point lead. 5:10 to play.
And a double foul called by the referee. Mabasa and Lamini both picking up. Now that's the way referees try to get rid of physicality between two players. Quick double foul called, and that foul will see Shange check back in. Lamini fouls out. Big call from the referee.
Shange now with the game, looking to get some offense for the Marlins. Got it! With the 3! Ties it at 56. Just under 5 minutes to play.
The Marlins needed that jumper from the perimeter. Tie game.
Mabasa working on Zele. Last touch on Shange. Possession will remain with the Pride. Right now, as this game winds down, just under 5 minutes to play. Mabasa can't get the roll to go. Oseja can't get the long 3 to go. Hits an air ball. Shange once again on the offensive end for the Marlins. Zele rolling to the basket. McPhee's there with a tip in.
Ben has been great for the Pride. McPhee has been outstanding for the Marlins. 18 big points for Ryan McPhee.
Ubene looking to work inside. Can't get that jump to go. Last touch on Sitole of the Pride, and it will be Marlins possession. Coach Mpasele, arms in the air, appealing for that ball. A subtle protest from him, needing possession of the ball. Shange inside, can't get the layup to go. Zele with the rebound. Shange is open, dumps it inside to McPhee and foul.
Right now, I was a Marlins player. I've been looking to get Ryan McPhee as many touches as possible. McPhee has been outstanding all game. And Zele recognizing his teammate's position under the rim, giving him another look. And 18 points. 9 rebounds, 4 of them offensive for Ryan McPhee. A chance to make this a 2-possession game and take it back to the familiar 4-point territory Marlins have been playing with all game. 1 of 2 for Ryan McPhee.
PP B with the Euro step, can't get it to go. Constable with the rebound, 2-on-2 break. Ayana Shanga, the bounce pass to Matsele. Can't get the layup to go. McPhee's there with the steal, puts it out, draws the foul.
Big time rebound. That was a big save by Ryan McPhee. Shange did everything right, getting the pass to Tele.
What does a strong guard do in that instance, Q? Because Tele, hands in the air, looking to evade the contact, where I'm thinking a strong guard would take it all the way to the basket with the left hand.
Should have gone with the left hand, but remember, Tele only got his speed as his weapon. Doesn't have size. He's not a big guard by any standard. So he did all that he could possibly do. Should have done better. Gone with the left hand.
Well, mind my words, Q. You know, you don't talk about big. The operative word for me is strong. What would a strong guard do?
Mabasa right now, evading Tele. Pull-up jumper, can't get it to go. Constable. Marlins fighting for the ball. And last touch on the Pride. Marlins right now, almost 3 minutes to play in this fourth quarter with a 4-point lead. And all of a sudden, we have a game in the fourth quarter. Tele picks up and draws a foul. Iguani picks up the foul. Then we send Tele to the line for a pair of free throws. Simon Kozat checks into the game. Tepu Pukwani takes a seat. Bandilin Zeleq, a second-year player for the Marlins, earning his minutes this season, and you've just got to love his style of play. Last season, of course, 2 points and 1 rebound per game. Those were his season averages, but this season really getting the minutes and really giving the Marlins some steady production on the floor. 5-point game, Marlins lead, just under 3 minutes to play. Mabasa. Manubele on the inside, gets the floater.
Big time finish by Jay Manubele.
Tele recognize the space, take it all the way to the basket. 2 Marlins on the offensive glass. Constable wins that duel.
The offensive glass has been Kwazulu Marlins saving grace. Second chance opportunities. Probably the primary reason the Kwazulu Marlins were able to come back from the deficit and now hold on to a lead. A timeout called on the floor. Coach Batlele has seen enough. He wants to have a couple of words with troops on that thin bench.
It's only 2 balls there. We don't have to look down. Let's go up there strongly go. Let's go and fight. Christian, in the most cases, Christian is here. One of the big guys. Just go down. Set him up. Let's free him. Set him up. Then once they set him up, we are saving the ball here. Look at what is happening here. Once he goes there, push the ball to this side. Feed to him. Then you take the ball. Let's go.
Alright, also, when you're playing defense, you have to pick your man right away. You must know your man where he is and go and pick him. Alright? This is simple. Right. This is our game. We have defense. Let's go. We have to play. We have to.
Game plan set by Coach Mpatlele. Pressure defense, setting up on the offensive end. Key right now. They need a score. Still plenty of time. 2 minutes, an eternity on the basketball floor.
5-point game. Manubele rolling to the basket, and the loose ball picked up by Nzele. Dlamini now back in the game, and the screen on Khoza, sending him spinning into his half court. 13 seconds on the shot clock for the Marlins. Shange for three. Back iron on that three. Khoza with the rebound. Would have been a big three. Looked good, leaving his hands. Mabasa inside to the basket and gets the layup, splitting two defenders.
Uses the Euro step well, does Mabasa, to get inside the key. Evades all defenders.
McPhee wants to work in the low block. Dlamini now on the inside, goes to the basket and draws a foul.
Good feed from McPhee to Dlamini. Thought McPhee would have liked to work, but backed himself in that situation. Got the ball to his captain, Dlamini. 4 of 6 from the free throw line. Will be used to pressure free throws. Vastly experienced point guard. 1 of 2 for Dlamini. 4 points, the lead still for the Kwazulu Marlins.
One of 2 for Dlamini. Mabasa working on Nzele. Nzele finding it a little difficult to keep up with Mabasa, but blocks Mabasa's shot. Dlamini, the drive inside, can't get the shot to go, but another foul, and that'll send him to the line once again. Ernest Massimini picks up that foul, and just a great play designed by Coach Gilchrist. Q options as well on the offensive side, on the offensive end. Dlamini calling for the screen, but looking for his teammate to screen away, and as the defender is actually going away with his teammate, he exploits that little bit of space that he finds on the left-hand dribble, and of course taking the ball all the way to the basket. Constable with the offensive rebound and feeds McPhee underneath, and a 6-point lead for the Marlins under 60 seconds to play.
Saving his teammates once again. Ben Constable with the second chance opportunity. It's been a monster on the boards.
Kabasele, that three doesn't look good. Constable with the rebound. He gets the ball in the safe hands of Dlamini. Dlamini working on Massimini. Massimini, it's going to be a foul. It was a foul the minute he bumped into Dlamini at center court.
Dlamini can ice these 2 free throws and will give the Marlins much needed breathing room. 1 of 4 for Dlamini. The last time he's been to the line, he's been to the line now 3 successive times. Two of 2 this time, giving the Marlins an 8-point lead. McPhee
Can't get the layup to go off the steal. Khoza outside for 3, got the rotation but can't get it to go, and PB's there cleaning up on the miss. 13.6 seconds, and it appears that the Pride have resigned themselves to the loss, but a timeout by Coach Gilchrist. 6-point lead for the Marlins, 13.6 to play in the 4th, and positive signs right now for the Kwazulu Marlins as they head to this timeout. They've had to pretty much slug it out with the Limpopo Pride and have to grind out this win. And of course, these are the makings of a good team. Having a team tested, you know, you can't just have it easy throughout the season.
The Kwazulu Marlins, much is expected of them at the beginning of the season, and by their own admission, it's been a struggle all season long. But games like this, games that play tight, especially teams where you're expected to win or teams where you're expected to out-execute, they use these games as yardsticks and measuring sticks to see how well they're doing in the program. And right now, Kwazulu Marlins, they have a good mixture of youth and experience on their roster. They can add a little bit more in the off-season, but I think they've got the makings of a very good base. They've got good youth. They've got a good coaching structure in place. I think they're going to be one of the franchises to look out for.
We haven't seen Brian Franklin, the forward center from the U.S. For the Kwazulu Marlins. Registration issues regarding his work permit. And we also saw Langaletu Mbele just a little bit earlier on in the season in 2 games, and he was pretty much doing a whole lot of damage for the Kwazulu Marlins. Played in the guard position, picked up a double scoring in one of the 2 games that he did feature in. And you're definitely right, the Marlins do have the makings of a good team, and they can definitely build on this in 2016. Of course, the team needs to have goals, and each player needs to have goals in order for everything to melt together into a winning formula.
Sure enough, and you can look at the Pride roster as well. There's a lot of youth on that Pride roster. There's a lot of athleticism. They just need to keep getting an addition in that front court, and perhaps look at revisiting their coaching structure. It's been a struggle for them this season.
Well, another timeout, this time by Coach Sinkim Patlele. I think they are pretty much going with Gladys Knight and the Pips. Neither one of us wants to say goodbye, but this time it's neither one of us wants this game to end.
Well, this game is not over. If
6-point game.
If the Pride get a score now and able to get a quick foul, and the Marlins continue to struggle from the free throw line, there's still an outside chance that the Pride could sneak a win.
Speaking about struggles from the free throw line, Ben Constable really letting go of a golden opportunity just before this timeout by Coach Sinkim Patlele. 2 free throws missed, and probably him thinking that the game is over. The Marlins have won, and you know, it's a foregone conclusion. But of course, like you said, 10 seconds to play, that's a whole lot of time. Kabasele can't get the long heave to go, and that'll be the game. QTP close the door, turn off the lights. Marlins pick up their 3rd win of the season, and they've had the tough throughout this game. It's been a tough game for the Marlins, grinding out the win, and they pick up that win right there. The Pride, valiant effort by the Pride, playing with a depleted squad, but of course the Marlins pick up the victory. Scores at full time: Marlins 68, Pride 62. And my man Q with the full game actual factuals.
15 assists for the Kwazulu Marlins, a key stat